Hi everyone, it's Laura and I hope you're all doing well. So today I wanted to make a video on why you are always hungry. So if you're interested, then keep watching. So number one, you are eating too fast and potentially with too many distractions. So what I recommend, slow down when you're eating, give your body time to register that you're eating, give your body time to tell you that it's not hungry anymore. And get rid of any distractions that are preventing you from fully focusing on your meals. Because a lot of times what will happen is you may physically be full, but you're too distracted focusing on other things that you're not listening to your body telling you that it's not hungry anymore. So slow down and get rid of distractions. Reason number two is you're not eating enough. A lot of times when we are trying to be healthy, when we are trying to lose weight or whatever it may be, we start cutting back on the amount of food that we're consuming. And at the same time, we increase the amount of physical activity we're doing. So we're drastically changing the amount of food that we're consuming. And as a result, oftentimes people aren't eating enough. Eating 1,200 calories a day is not enough. That is not enough food to fuel your body with the energy that it needs. And so something that I highly recommend is focusing more on the quality of your food. And as a result, you don't have to worry as much on the quantity. So instead of focusing on consuming 1,400 calories a day, which I don't agree is enough, but instead of focusing on that, focus on consuming quality, nutrient-dense foods that are fresh, that come from the ground, that you know that they're real and wholesome and that it's actually food. And as a result, you won't have to focus on the amount as much because you know that you're consuming foods that your body wants and needs. The number three potential cause of why you're always hungry could be that you're addicted to crap. You're addicted to refined sugar. And as a result, you can't stop thinking about it, your body can't stop craving it, and it literally becomes a drug. And this is super common in America, and it's not something that I feel like people fully grasp the intensity of it and the effect it can have on someone's overall health. And it's an addiction just like anything else. And what I recommend, a lot of people, when they quit cold turkey, when they totally get off processed, refined sugar crap, when they quit cold turkey, the experience that I've seen is that they eventually go back to it. And so what I recommend is slowly decreasing the amount of crap in your diet and replacing it with fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, and things that, like I said before, are actually food. We've become so addicted to this high junk food buzz in our head and the high that we get from consuming crap, that as a result, we become literally addicted to food. And it's not that physically we're hungry, it's that it's become an addiction. And so if this is something you think you have, recommend that you start decreasing the amount of junk you're consuming and increasing the amount of food that you consume. Next, you potentially could be sleep deprived. Sleep plays an important role in hunger cues, in hormone regulations, and it's important for overall health. So making sure that you're consuming about 7 to 9 hours of sleep is the amount that the average person needs every single night. I know for me, when I am sleep deprived, I start reaching for things that I know will give me some type of jolt of energy. So I'll reach for the caffeine or the candy or something like that just to like shock me into waking up. Because when you're dragging along all day, you're looking for foods not to provide you with nutrients, but to provide you with something that'll shock your system. And so highly recommend, make sure you start getting enough sleep and making it a huge priority, because not only is it important for hunger, like I said, but it's important for overall health. It impacts every aspect of your health. So making sleep a priority is essential. Next could have everything to do with what you are drinking. A lot of times we confuse hunger with thirst. So if you're someone, you're not consuming enough water, and in addition to that, you're consuming caffeine and alcohol and other beverages that dehydrate you, you could be confusing your hunger cues with your thirst cues. So making sure you're drinking adequate amounts of water The average person needs about 8 to 10 cups of water a day, but that also includes the water you get from food. So my recommendation is to drink water when you're thirsty, make it a priority, keep it on hand, because if it's there, you'll drink it. If it's not there, you won't, obviously. But making sure that you're staying hydrated throughout the day and trying to limit the amount of alcohol and caffeine that you consume because they dehydrate you to the max. Oh, and side note, so did you know that caffeine has a half-life of 6 to 8 hours? So if you consume a cup of coffee at 8 a.m., then that could potentially, you could still be riding on that high from that caffeine until 4 p.m. at night. So if you're consuming a cup of coffee even at noon or 1 or 2, then that could totally be impacting your sleep, even if you're consuming it earlier into the day. So if you are someone who consumes caffeine, I recommend consuming it early in the morning and then not consuming it again. Having a little bit, so the recommendation is less than 300 milligrams, but it's a very vague recommendation and it doesn't take into account body size, gender, anything. It's just a flat recommendation for everyone. And so I don't necessarily agree with it because I think everyone's different, but trying to stick to less than 8 ounces of caffeine a day and consuming it in the morning, if at all. If you can go without caffeine, awesome, go for it. Next is emotions, and kind of alongside that, I'm gonna add stress. So emotions, whether we're happy, sad, excited, depressed, or whether we're extremely stressed or not stressed at all, these can have huge impacts on our emotional eating. And some people, when they're stressed, they eat. Some people, when they're stressed, they don't. And as a result, they don't eat all day. Well, I see this all the time. They don't eat all day while they're at work because they're too busy and they're too stressed out. And then when they get home, they overeat and they binge, and it's not a good story. And on the flip side, the opposite is, I'm super stressed out, I'm just gonna snack all day on munchy food, something to keep my mouth busy, keep my hands busy. So I see both ends of the spectrum. Food should not be associated with the ups and downs of our emotions, because our emotions change throughout the day. Ideally, they're not drastic ups and downs, but we have little waves of emotions throughout the day. And if that is closely correlated to your hunger or your desire to consume, then we need to figure out a way to get you to break that cycle. And my first step, my first recommendation in doing so is to figure out which emotions are correlated to emotional eating. So is it sad? Is it happy? Is it stressed? Whatever it may be. And replacing the emotional eating with a healthier behavior. Easier said than done. Next is to make sure that you are consuming your fiber every single day. So fiber is important for satiation, which is just making sure you stay full longer. It's important for your cholesterol, for your heart, for your bowels, and for overall health. And the average American consumes 11 to 14 grams of fiber a day, and we need double that. So we need about 25 to 30 grams of fiber a day. And where you're gonna find the fiber is in your plant-based foods. So your fruits, your vegetables, your whole grains, your beans, your nuts and seeds, anything that's grown from the ground has fiber in it. Some have more fiber than others, but they all have fiber in it. And as long as plants are the basis of your diet and your lifestyle, you're more than likely getting the fiber you need. If you're someone who you consume more of a standard American diet, your diet's rich in animal products and convenience foods, then if changing those habits isn't a priority right now, or it's not something that you're willing to work on, then maybe just incorporating a fiber supplement into your diet, whether it's Benefiber, Metamucil, something to add fiber into your diet. Ideally, you'd be getting the fiber from your plants, but I'm just trying to work with, different types of people here. We're not on the same level of playing field. So if you're someone who you're not willing to change your diet and incorporate more plants, then I do recommend looking into a fiber supplement. If you're someone who consumes primarily a plant-based diet, then you should be good to go. So I hope these tips helped y'all out. If you have any suggestions for future videos, or if you have any additional recommendations that you want to talk about, feel free to comment below. Also, I'll leave a link below to my book. It's called Healthy Veggie, A Dietitian's Guide to a Plant-Based Lifestyle. It's all about living a healthy lifestyle while primarily consuming just plants. So check that out. I'm also available for meal planning, for one-on-one counseling. I'll leave all that information below. I hope all is well with y'all, and I'll be seeing you on my next video. Bye.